I know what you're thinking. How cool would it be for a back-to-back Snapshwasty? Really cool. Let's do it. Snapshwasty, Volume 2. Tonight we're going to be caramelizing some onions, then we're going to be putting that onto like a baguette sort of situation, like a little mini baguette, and we're going to be making steak sandwiches. It's going to be real fucking good. Also, let's just address the elephant in the room. Yesterday, a lot of you commented on my cat pants. Yes, they're fantastic, and I still don't know who sent them to me, but if you're watching this right now, fan, follower, friend, thank you. One last thing to address before we jump on in this. If you guys send me Snapchats, I'll probably reply to them in the middle of doing this, so don't be shy. I am here. First on the agenda, we're going to do a slow caramelization of onions. So grab a white or yellow onion, yellow preferably, and cut it in ringlets. I'll show you what I mean. Isn't that just fucking adorable? So yeah, that's what I mean by ringlets. Next up, you're going to take a pan, put it on the stovetop, and put a little oil and garlic powder in there. Once this is decently warm, you're going to start putting the ringlets in there. And yeah, we'll take a step there in a second. Hold on. Alright, check that out. See how pretty that looks right there? After the oil heats it up and everything, you're going to be good to go. And a couple tips for caramelizing onions. One, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You're going to want to do this over a little bit of a long period of time, so use kind of like medium-low heat. Don't get too aggressive. Two, onions are actually very porous, so they absorb a lot of stuff. Whatever oil or anything you put in there, it's going to get absorbed into the onion. Last but not least, unlike the United States prison system, we're actually going to worry about overcrowding in the pan, so make sure to have not too much in there. Alright, now that we have our ringlets in there, we're going to drop a bit of butter in the middle of every single one of them. How pretty does that look? Smells even prettier. So now that it's going to be sitting in there for a while, throw a little bit of salt over top of it and cover it up and leave it at medium-low heat. And because several people have asked so far, yes, it is a Rush shirt. Next, super easy, au jus sauce. I'm still never sure how to pronounce that. Au jus, whatever. Brown thin gravy. For the au jus, we're going to get really complicated. Follow directions on the packet. I mean, you can make it from scratch, but I actually really like this McCormick stuff. It's really good. Why bother? One thing I will say for improving upon this really good au jus powder stuff is to mix in a little bit of flour with it. Just thickens it up, gives it a little bit of body. Onions, caramelizing. Au jus, sitting. Cheese sauce. Let's do this. So for the cheese sauce, to begin with, we're going to put in a little bit of red wine vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, and a little bit of whole milk, and we're going to let that kind of get up to about a 4 out of 10 on the scale of heat. Kind of vaguely looks like that one Metallica album cover. Anyway, yeah, let it warm up. And in that same bowl that we used the powdered au jus for and everything, we're going to throw some shredded provolone and mozzarella and flour in there and mix it up by hand. Now, gently as you like, take some of the cheese that we've shredded up, and yeah, I know I had to shred slices because there's no place in town to buy good provolone, and put it in the sauce. So now we're going to take some of this bottom round steak, thin cut, kind of like fajita meat, and we're going to dice it into strips. So now that you have this all nice and pretty cut up like, we're going to move that over to this genius invention, the corded wok, and I'm going to show you what to do from there. Now that you have the beef in there, you're going to want to season with olive oil, red wine vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, smoked paprika, basil, oregano, white pepper, celery salt, and Worcestershire fucking sauce. Whatever. This is the part that always weirds some people out. You gotta mix it up by hand. Don't do any of that, sissy bullshit. Just get in there. Live it. Last but not least, now that it's all mixed up and smelling great, take a little bit of the au jus after you cooled it down to room temperature and just kind of pour it over the top of that. We're going to cook that off. Go ahead and get that all off overcooked up, and we're going to, ooh, it's a little foggy. Yeah, so get that cooked and we'll deal with more stuff later. Alright, check this out. It's been a few minutes and we got a nice amount of meat right there. Now we're going to take the caramelized onions and dump it in and just stir it up. Alright, next, after you got the onions all mixed in there, you're going to take the cheese sauce and just put a little bit over the top and stir that in. Last but not least, we're going to be taking some bread and toasting it. Now, this is what the amount of bread that Walmart gives you for like $3 is, so we're not going to eat all this, but yeah. Alright, let's see if we got a nice little toast going on. Yep. They're baked. Alright, now comes the easy part. See the bread? Gonna take some meat, put it on the bread, close the bread, boom, we'll talk in a second. And there you have it, steak sandwiches. Now we're gonna use the remaining au jus for dipping. You can put more cheese on if you want to. I highly encourage it, but that's it. Once again, thank you all for watching, and in the coming days, be looking for an announcement. It will be coming pretty much on every social media platform that I have, Twitter, YouTube, Imgur, and Snapchat. So, stay tuned. Shwasty, out.